few stories for you as usual, viewers. Firstly, Jeffrey Feltman, US envoy to the Horn of Africa, visited Ethiopia. I told you in advance about his visit. Did PM Abiy meet Jeffrey Feltman? Because if you remember, he visited Ethiopia more than a month ago. Back then, PM Abiy had refused to hold a meeting with him. What happened this time? We have some updates for you. Secondly, viewers, European Union is about to announce sanctions regarding Tigray conflict. Several sources are confirming that in coming hours, EU could impose sanctions. Which types of sanctions will be imposed by the EU? And who will be put under sanctions? Which parties to Tigray conflict will be put under sanctions? And lastly, viewers, British ambassador to Ethiopia has released a video message about situation in Addis Ababa, in Amhara, in Afar. It's a travel advisory for British citizens as well. I'll share this clip with you. Firstly, viewers, Jeffrey Feltman, US Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa, visited Ethiopia. We were discussing before his visit that will PM Abiy meet him or not, because we have seen that almost more than a month ago, I think 2 months ago, he visited Ethiopia, but PM Abiy did not meet him. Samantha Power, US aid chief, also visited Ethiopia back then, but we had seen that no meeting happened between Samantha Power and PM Abiy. So we were waiting for this visit of Jeffrey Feltman, because now TDF has made some gains. OLA, TDF, they are claiming that they'll capture Addis Ababa. So is PM Abiy now under pressure? That is what we were discussing, that if PM Abiy is under pressure, he might have a meeting with Jeffrey Feltman. But so far, what we have learned indicates that PM Abiy did not meet Jeffrey Feltman. I can confirm that so far, no meeting has been held between PM Abiy and US envoy to the Horn of Africa, Jeffrey Feltman. Before the arrival of Jeffrey Feltman in Ethiopia, US removed Ethiopia from AGWA trade benefit program. It was a huge decision. It will impact more than 200,000 Ethiopians. Sanctions were also imposed by the US a few months ago. It seems that US policy of putting pressure upon Ethiopian government is not working. PM Abiy is not giving in to US pressure. He is not meeting with top US officials. Jeffrey Feltman had said before his visit that he was going to Ethiopia for peaceful resolution of Tigray conflict. If PM Abiy is giving the cold shoulder to Jeffrey Feltman, it means that Ethiopian government is not happy with US policy. It is not giving in to US pressure. US sanctions don't always work. We have seen that, viewers, so that US has imposed unilateral sanctions on dozens of countries. And in those countries, people turn against the US. There are several examples. So here again, it seems that Ethiopian government is not giving in to US pressure. Secondly, viewers, European Union, EU is set to announce sanctions regarding Tigray conflict in coming hours or days. Several sources, official sources and diplomatic sources have confirmed that EU has done all the work, and in coming hours, coming days, it is expected to announce sanctions. And the sanctions could include a travel ban, asset freeze, other type of sanctions. Who will be targeted? Ethiopian government officials, Eritrean government, Tigray People Liberation Front leaders. It's not clear. It is being said that all parties could be put under sanction because we have seen an investigative report, an inquiry into human rights abuses committed in Tigray. The inquiry was conducted by UN Human Rights Body and Ethiopian Human Rights Commission. The two bodies jointly carried out the investigation, and the investigation is putting the blame on all parties. UN Human Rights Body, Human Rights Commission, they say that all parties to the Tigray conflict, they are involved in human rights abuses committed in Tigray. That is why we could see sanctions on all parties. Lastly, viewers, British ambassador to Ethiopia has released a video message which is basically a travel advisory for British citizens. He is asking British citizens to reconsider their plans if they want to travel to Ethiopia. He is calling upon British citizens to leave Ethiopia. So there is and there was panic in diplomatic circles in Addis Ababa. Why was that? Was it due to some irresponsible reporting in international newspapers by international news outlets about advance of TDF and OLA to Addis Ababa? Yes, one of the reasons behind this panic was some irresponsible reporting. But Ethiopian government's announcement of emergency, nationwide emergency for 6 months also led to spread of panic in diplomatic community. Though yesterday Ethiopian ministers held a meeting with ambassadors, envoys, diplomats, and they tried to brief them, and they told them that diplomatic privileges will not be affected, and they'll continue under relevant international laws. It seems the international community diplomats, they're not comfortable, and they think that this conflict can spread towards Addis Ababa, and this announcement of emergency has led to this spreading of panic. That is why several embassies have issued statements calling upon their citizens to leave Ethiopia. Watch the video message released by British ambassador to Ethiopia. Thank you for watching.
Following the declaration of a state of emergency in Ethiopia, we have changed our travel advice. We are now advising British nationals to review their need to stay in Ethiopia and to consider leaving while commercial options remain available. It may become more difficult to secure flights later. We have been advising against all travel to all parts of Amhara, Tigray and Afar, and to certain other areas. We are now advising against all but essential travel to the rest of Ethiopia, including Addis Ababa. Please follow our channels on social media for updates and read our travel advice. And please make a note of our emergency number, which is 011 617 0100.